Alright everyone, Ilhan Omar has come out again. This is the second time she's done this to whine about death threats received by her office. She did this before, I can't remember what Trump said, but she came out afterwards. She's like, oh, there's been more death threats than normal in my email, basically, since Trump said, bad thing. I can't remember what it was. Now she's doing it again. It's like, what fucking total opportunism. And it's funny to watch the legacy media cover her ass and pretend like it's not normal for public officials to get death threats. Oh, it's because of Trump. That's the toxic, evil Trump. No, people have gotten death threats all a fucking long since the dawn of time. That's been happening. It's not a uniquely American thing. It's certainly not a uniquely Ilhan Omar thing. It's not a new feature at all. I've been online, I'm not I'm not a politician. I'm not an elected official. I get death threats all the time. Used to be worse, by the way. When I was criticizing religion, it was actually worse, which is hilarious. Could be why these sites are trying to sanitize themselves and prevent criticism of religion. They're trying to be very, very gentle with the superstitious crowd, which is why now criticism of religion, like on Twitter, is now literally banned. As long as it's a religion that Jack Dorsey wants to protect, of course. Certain religions like paganism, irreligion, and Christianity aren't really protected. Some of the Christians might be like the more out there ones, specific sects Pentecostal or whatever. Some of the goofy ones, but by and large, you're not allowed to do that anymore because the internet's becoming a more sanitized, PC, boring place to be, which we must fight, by the way. But I mean, pretending that Ilhan Omar getting death threats is highly abnormal. Oh my God, Trump is causing incitement to violence, dude. People will say and do crazy shit anyway. Remember when Steve Scalise was shot by that one dude who the one mass shooting that's never talked about in retrospect by the legacy media is when a crazy leftist showed up to shoot a bunch of Republicans at the congressional baseball game. That one's never really talked about. Steve Scalise got shot in the hip, was in critical for days, and almost died. He was all sorts of fucked up. Didn't it take him weeks to even partially recover, and then he went back into the hospital because he almost relapse, he pulled stitches or some crazy shit. So people get attacked for their beliefs. People get threatened for their beliefs. By the way, by and large, 99% of the time, the death threats that you'll get are bullshit. It's the person, it's not even a credible threat. Let's say that someone says, well, I'm going to drive to your house and shoot you, but they don't have a car or a gun. It's not exactly the most credible threat in the world. And oftentimes it's coming from someone who has no way or means of getting to you. They're halfway across the world and they're saying weird shit, but they're living in a dirt-floored hovel somewhere. They just happen to have their fucking crapple product that they can connect to the internet with. Not exactly too intimidating. Most of the time people are just being hyperbolic. And that's, by the way, that's what I pointed out with this chant. Oh, Trump is leading people in racist chants now. Oh my God. Yeah, can you say lock her up 2.0? It's hyperbolic. Is Hillary Clinton locked up? No, it's the same fucking shit. And by the way, Trump's not even the one leading the chant at this point. Just because his fans say, send her back or whatever, who fucking cares, dude? It's not because of her race, it's because she's a commie. Ilhan Omar, in her case. By the way, one of these gang of four people is white. AOC is white. She's a white Hispanic, so I don't know what people are talking about. Really funny. Race. Yeah, you speak Spanish, therefore your genotype magically changes. I was sparring with some ethno-nationalist who was rambling about phenotype, and I'm like, yeah, okay, take a biology course. You realize there's a difference between that and genotype, correct? Do your genes magically change? If two people from China, totally of Asian extraction, family's been there for 5,000 fucking years, go to Mexico, have a kid, and raise it there, does that magically change the genetic structure and make them a magically different race? No, because Hispanic is not a race. It's treated as one for unknown reasons within the U.S. weird legal categorization system. Government forms finally wising up now, and they have Hispanic versus non-Hispanic under a different header. It's not a race. It's not racist to say send somebody back, and I pointed this out too, with regards to the send her back chant. We can prove objectively that it's not racist. How? Because if you were to take that same chant and apply it to someone who is a white politician, nobody would be making that claim. The fact is that only the fact that Ilhan Omar is of a certain race is causing them to believe that. That is in itself bigoted to make that belief. I do believe that. So these leftists, ironically, are proving themselves to be the ones obsessed with this topic. Trump never invoked race. And then, by the way, who gives a fucking shit? I don't even care. But Ilhan Omar getting death threats, she's complained of this before. When you are in Congress, Congress is very unpopular. She's unpopular within her district. Her approval's in the low 30s. Don't you think that, yes, sometimes people are going to say and do weird shit? But Ilhan Omar is still in the land of the living. She hasn't been shot at yet. For the most part, our politicians are relatively safe, mainly because they stay cloistered in D.C. with armed guards and Capitol Police around. Kind of difficult to actually target people. Assassinations and assaults for political reasons are exceedingly rare. And then sometimes you say, well, I saw this claim, neo-Nazi violence is on the rise. Yeah, so instead of one incident, it's two? Give me a fucking break. Just because someone's white and happens to attack somebody who's not white does not make it a racist attack. But that seems to be how it's construed. It's sort of like when they say, well, there have been dozens of school shootings, and you find out that most of them are single-actor suicide and negligent discharge. In some cases, it's a shooting, it's on school grounds, it has nothing to do with the kids inside, it's not even in the building. That's not a school shooting, not by the definition that the average person would think of. It's all a bunch of linguistic propaganda bullshit. Ilhan Omar loves to fudge words around. Like, she likes to say that it's racist to point out that her national origin, that her nation was ruined by communism, which it literally was. You know, look up the history of Somalia. It's improving a little bit now, but you've got militants running all around the place. So Ilhan Omar, the two groups of people, commies and Islamo-fascists, that are responsible for Somalia being, you know, extremely impoverished and a rather unfortunate place to live because it's constantly rocked by terrorist attacks. Those are the two people she won't criticize. She'd rather, like, blame Trump. Those evil Western imperialists, or maybe the Israelis at various times. It's funny to see, you know, people who are actually, like, Nazis saying, oh, Ilhan Omar is our girl. Now, they're doing it tongue-in-cheek, but they're like, oh, Ilhan Omar is our girl. Haha, she says the same things about Jews that we do. It's funny because then Trump hammers that home and gets the evangelical voters as riled up as the far left is. It's magical to watch. No, I mean, you know, fucking, I'm not going to cry any crocodile tears pretending that I care about Ilhan Omar getting threatened by people. They're not going to do jack shit. They're full of shit. They're not going to actually attack her. It's not going to happen. People are more likely to attack right-wing politicians because the legacy media tells them it's justified. Oh yeah, it's okay. It's okay to throw things at people, punch them out and stuff, because they're not protected for something because we claim that they're Nazis. The legacy media deems them to be extremists. It's like Facebook's fucking bullshit rule there where they said, well, it's not okay to incite violence except against certain people we've deemed dangerous based on media reporting. So, you know, where does that leave, like, a person like me? I've been defamed by the Wall Street Journal. Yes, I've received death threats in the wake of that. Does that mean that the Wall Street Journal is legally culpable for its libel against me? It should be, probably, but it's not, unfortunately, because, you know, corporate media firms, they have a lot of lawyers, so the government doesn't really enforce the law when it comes to them. They can lie and cheat and steal and, you know, they don't get in trouble for it. That's why you should join me on multiple platforms and help me in my goal of actually bringing real fucking analysis to people, because you're not going to get it from the fucking Wall Street Journal. You're not going to get it from BuzzFeed. They're going to sit there and they're going to suck Ilhan Omar off. They're going to drink her piss because they love it. They love their sensationalism. And they really love neoliberalism too. At the end of the day, these people are just people with D after their names. They're pawns for the neoliberals anyway. They think that they're strong, empowered women. No, Ilhan Omar is not empowered. The party structure fucking hates her. Pelosi was actively in the process of muzzling these particular individuals in order to try to win the 2020 election. The best thing they can do, Paul Joseph Watson made a video the other day about how he loves Ilhan Omar because she's going to ruin the chances of the Dems in 2020. Yes, I agree. I concur completely. And Trump is causing this to happen very willingly. He's consciously made a decision to egg the far left on. It's working. The Pelosiites don't have a counter strategy. What the fuck are they going to do? Tell them to shut up anyway and look like they're siding with Trump? You realize how mad that would get the far left? Jill Stein would definitely be clocking in a third run because she'd say, wow, I might actually win this time with all these people fleeing the party. Yeah, it's time to take the Green Party national. We're going to sell out and be a lamestream party instead of doing what the Republicans usually do, which is lose gracefully. At least hippie grandma's like semi-sane. She's sort of, why isn't Williamson, by the way, running as a Green? She sounds like hippie grandma. She should be her running mate and run with Jill Stein. That'd be cool. I'd probably vote for Williamson before I'd vote for some idiot like AOC or Ilhan Omar anyway. That's about all. Peace out.